We have a very complex and a very bulky note here to look at within a very short period of time. So almost we have it either not possible or we have it very difficult to analyze everything, to scrutinize the budget very well. So I think there is a need for constitutional amendment, looking at the period that they used to look to scrutinize the budget, and that is very short. The other thing also is the Honourable Minister, the budget is very bulky. I think it should be explanatory so that it can be citizen friendly, and we have a summary version of it for honourable members to be able to understand it very well. When we have a summary version of the budget that aligns figures to issues and that they intend to address, that would be very good. That's my suggestion, that we have a very summarized budget which is very citizen friendly and it can be very explanatory. Honourable Speaker, looking at today's budget that we have as 2023 estimate, the total budget of 35.41 billion to 31.18 billion of 2022. Records have shown that actually the unrealistic nature of this year's budget is very clear. Looking at the low revenue collection in 2022 by GRA was a serious challenge. This has actually given us an actual outturn for only 56% in 9 months of 2022. What difference are we expecting that informs this budget, increasing from 31% from 31 billion to 35 billion? What difference have informed this increment? Honourable Speaker, which means having been cautious of the fact that the total collected revenue and grants was only 48% over the said 9-month period. Honourable Speaker, however, if there is no changes with respect to this situation, the low revenue collection in 2022, non-realization of the international commitments, which means there will be another supplementary appropriation bill in 2023. So I think there is a need to look at this budget critically and slice it very well with a very sharp knife to ensure that our budget is realistic. We will not run into another supplementary appropriation in 2021. Honourable Speaker, I think the major complaint that we all have is that we are a tax-based economy and our revenue collection is very low. But I would suggest that we should not only do expenditure audit. The expenditure audit is one thing, but revenue audit is another thing. To audit our revenue, all the agencies that are responsible for collecting revenues for this country needs to be audited for us to establish the amount of revenue that we can collect in a year. Once we are able to establish that, this will inform our budget very well. Revenue audit is another thing. And the other thing is, when we audit our revenues, I think we should be able, with immediate effect, to stop physical cash collection of public fund in government agencies. Physical cash collection of public funds. Let's try to ensure that we have our e-banking policies that GRA is coming with to ensure that the funds that is due to this country are being accounted for and they get to where they're supposed to get. This will help us, and this will help the ministry to actually give us a budget that is realistic. Because if GRA projected that they can produce this in a year, and we went 9 months in a year, they realize that they cannot actually do that, then something is wrong somewhere that has to be looked at critically. Once we do that, we will be able to have a budget that is realistic, then we can run away from revising budgets over and over. Honourable Speaker, water as a basic need. I think the Ministry of Water Resources, Fisheries and Water Resources, so definitely the time has come for us to allocate them enough fund. And their allocation is only 10 million. Sadly, if you move to some parts of this country, some of the people are drinking on open wells. Some of our electorates are moving from one community to the other to fetch water. Particularly in my personal constituents, people are moving from one community to the other to fetch water for drinking and cooking, which is very sad. I think by 2023, we should make sure we have an allocation that will abolish drinking on open wells and open defecation. Sadly, as a National Assembly member, we went on I've moved to some part of the country. And we found that in some communities, open defecation still exists. This should be abolished in this country. The ministry that is responsible for this should be allocated with enough resources to ensure that we abolish drinking on open wells and open defecation. It's very sad. So I think the time has come that the Ministry of Fisheries and Water Resources to be allocated with enough fund for them to ensure that they embark on a journey to draft a strategic plan. They abolish drinking on open wells because we cannot be healthy. In areas where open defecation is common, most of the time they are very closer to the sea. These materials are being eroded to the sea. We use a lot of things in the sea. And in all those areas, you find children, taking bath using the seawater. And sometimes you see our mothers, our sisters, when they come from farm, they go to the seaside and take bath. So once we don't abolish this, they cannot be healthy. And we are buying medicines, we're still killing them. So let's try to make sure that we abolish open defecation and drinking on open wells. Honourable Speaker, I think today my deliberation will be a little bit biased, talking about 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏 very well. My constituents, aligning it to the budget. I can see the allocation of $440 million for the second phase of 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏 project. And looking at this, to be quite frank enough, I want to thank the ministry for this allocation. Thank you very much. But we want this project to be fast-tracked to ensure that the people who have been marginalized for more than 30 decades to actually benefit from what is due to them. As I always complain, the distributive justice. Our GDP, you said it into per capita income. Our capital income per citizen of 𝒂𝒄𝒄 deserves this money. So please, let's make sure that this money is trickled down to the people of this constituency. And by conclusion, I want to say, Ministry, and again to Minister of Fisheries and Water Resources, fisheries, the fish landing sites in this country. We are complaining, saying we only have foreigners in our seas fishing and the Gambians are not engaged in the fishing. Of course they are. Get to the hinterlands of this country. The youth are ready to fish. Each of these fish landing sites you go, there's a major problem. The boats are not there. The fishing nets are not there. The regulations are not followed. I think there is high time that we spend money on this sector. And I want to inform the Honourable Minister that there is a community that has a fish landing site. Their fish landing site, there is a major problem there. The site is not good. The materials on the old side are killing kids. They will always use this area to go and take bath, to go for swimming. And two children were died in this community in Fonyibinta. What is the Minister of Fisheries doing? Can they be given resources to go and remove those materials, or they make the fish landing site, which is going to improve the sector? So we cannot continue to lose the life of children, the innocent children. Who can be Minister of Finance tomorrow? Who can be Speaker? Who can be Parliament members? Who can be presidents to be losing their lives because the ministry failed to go and remove the dangerous materials at the coast, or to build it to generate fund for the country? We cannot afford that. So the time has come for that site definitely to be looked at, because life of two kids has been claimed because of that dangerous materials there. Either they go remove it or you build this landing site. Honourable Speaker, this is the little that I want to contribute to the budget. Thank you very much. I beg to take my seat.